Welcome to the video podcast. My name is Florence Straka. This video podcast is all about blogging as a business, life experiences, inspiration, and mindset. This is all about my journey that I want to share with you, where I started from to where I am now, so you can see a perspective. Today is episode 2, and I am going to talk about my childhood. So childhood part 1 is what I'm going to talk about today. I want to start from here, so I grow this step by step. You can see how it all started for me to where I am going or where I am now. Anyway, I am born in Ghana in 76. I didn't know much from 76 till middle of 80. I think I might be probably 7, 8, 9 years old is when I started things that I remembered. I think from there. So I remember I was living with my grandmother, which is my maternal grandmother. We call her Davi. Amazing woman. She passed away 5 years ago. She was a great woman, she taught me a lot in life. So I remembered I was living with her. And then one day my father came. My father was living in the capital of Ghana, Accra. That's where he was living. And so I was with him. And then one thing I remembered again, I was living with my paternal grandmother, which is my father's mother. We all live in the same capital of Ghana, Accra. It was just maybe 5 or 10 buildings between where my father was living and my grandmother was living, paternal grandmother. And this woman was so vicious, so harsh, very wicked woman. It takes me a long time to label somebody, but this woman, with the experience that I have experienced with her, it was so harsh, very harsh. I remembered we were maltreated. There was me and one of my cousins. She was also my aunt's daughter, and both of us were living with her. She was favored more than me. There is something between the region that my mother came from and my father came from in Ghana. Even though we speak the same dialect, there is a little difference between. And there's some from the south and we are from the north. And then from the south, where my father is from, they don't take lightly, like they don't like people from the north, really. There's nothing really between it, but they just have this thing that they think that the people from the south, they are better than the people from the north. So that's just a little history there. So they favor my other cousin much better than me, paternal grandmother side. So she maltreated us badly, but I was the one who takes the heavier treatment with more treatment and all that. I can tell you sometimes I remembered we don't eat. We don't eat from the morning till afternoon. After 12, midday before we eat something. Even what we eat, it's something little like a wheat. We have to boil wheat, not the powdered one, the actual wheat. We cook it, and that is going to be our breakfast. Then we just add a little salt so we can have a taste, because wheat doesn't really have much taste to it. So we add a little salt. We do not have a sugar to put in to eat, and that is our porridge to eat. Our breakfast is people's lunch, because people eat breakfast in the morning and then they eat lunch in the afternoon after 12, but that our breakfast is our lunch. So we eat breakfast and lunch together, and eating that from 12, we do not eat anything until in the evening around 5 to 6 before we eat our actual supper. It was a treacherous experience as a child. It has left a very bad taste in my life, and that is one of the things that I always say. The way you treat a child, it doesn't have to be your own child. Whoever is living with you as a child, treat them right. Don't maltreat them. Don't think that this child, because this child is a child, it has no future, or this person will not grow to become anything. You don't know that. You are not the creator. As I said in my beginning episode, you don't know. We all have a uniqueness to us. As we were born, everybody has their path to live. So if a child is living with you, whether you gave birth to this child or whether this child is somebody you want to care for, take good care of them. Don't maltreat them. And that was my experience. So my paternal grandmother treated us so badly, so badly. I remembered we have to do all chores. We get up at 4 as a child. Maybe I was between 8 and 9. We get up at 4. We have to do all these chores. We clean and clean and clean. I think that's where I got the cleaning thing from, because I have a YouTube channel which is about cleaning. It's just cleaning. They say cleanliness is next to godliness, but this one is just extreme. And that's all we do. Washing clothes by hand, cleaning, doing that, going here, doing chores. Oh my word. It wasn't a good experience at all. It was a bad experience for a child. And it has stuck to my mind to this age that I am now, because I will never forget it. And that is one thing. Whatever you do to a child, you think this child will forget. Maybe some. For me, I did not. It lives with me. And that was one of the bad things that I can say about my grandmother. Even if she has done anything good, I do not remember those good things. All the things I remember is all the bad treatment that I have received. And that is one of the experience that I would say, do not maltreat any child that is living with you, whether it's yours or somebody's. Don't do that to them, because it stays with them for life, forever. So that was my childhood. So from there, the maltreatment was so harsh. And I remember sometimes I have to run away. I become a runaway child, a runaway girl. I run away because the treatment is so harsh. My father is just a walking distance, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care anything about me that I will remember. Sometimes it got to some point, my grandmother will say, well, go to your parents, go to your parents. They will push us to go away. They will actually physically push us to go. And so I'll run back to my father. He doesn't care. He's working. He goes in the morning, come back in the evening. Hungry. I will wait till he comes back. I stay with him 2-3 days. He will push me back to go back to my grandmother. It was just back and forth, back and forth. When all this is happening, you will ask me, where is my mother? My mother is living 2-3 hours drive. I can't go there. I can't walk. And it's in a different region. So everything that is happening to me here in Accra, my mother is living in Pando, which is the name of the city they are living in. I am here. She doesn't know what is going on. And then before that, my mother wasn't living in Pando. She was a trader because she passed. She was a trader, but sometimes I still talk about her as if she's still present. So she travels from Ghana to Togo to Nigeria, and that's where she does her trading. So my mother was not around at that time when my father came and took me from my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, from Pando to Accra to be living with him. So they do not know what is happening to me. Nobody knows what is happening to me. My father knows, but he doesn't care, because he was the one who took me to come and live with him, not to go and live with his mother. To live with him. But then as I was living with him, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to take care of me anymore. I don't know. And then he just pushed me to go to live with his mother, the wicked grandmother for me. So it was treacherous. It was treacherous. Beatings, hunger, hard labor. She was a trader herself. She sells in the market. She sells dry corn. She sells all sort of things. So we were trained. So we do all this labor work every day, cleaning, cooking. We learn how to cook at a very early age. So dealing with fire, hot fire, charcoal, firewood, whatever it is, that's what we are dealing with as a child. And those were a life that I have experienced in my childhood. This is where 80s, I can remember that 80s, and then it was just back and forth. And I remember one day I was just there, I was so hungry. I don't know, I was so hungry. We're not fed because I think we might have done something wrong. They were reprimanding us with hunger. So we were hungry. But then I was pushed back again to go to my father. I was with my father. Before I realized, there was my mom. My mom came. You cannot imagine the excitement seeing my mother. Oh my goodness, Mom, what happened? It was tears. I think she stayed for 2 days and then she took me back. She took me back to Kwando to live with my grandmother Davi again, the sweet one, the one with a soul. And so I was taken back to Kwando, living with my grandmother. And my mom stayed for a while. Because of her trading, her work, she had to leave again. But this time, I was living with my grandmother. With the back and forth, my schooling has disrupted. I wasn't going school fully because taking me from Accra now back to Kwando, now they have to look for a school for me to start all over again. So whatever stage I am, I have to start all over. So it was just back and forth. But this time, I am living with my grandmother that really cares about me, that really takes me to school. She takes me to school every time. I remember she would carry my chairs. By then we take chairs to school. Now the system here that you have a bus that takes you to school. In Ghana, I remembered we take our stool to school because there's tables, there's no chairs. So you have to provide your own chairs to school. And that was the experience. So that was part one that I just want to share with you. There is more coming. There is more of my childhood that I have experienced that no child should go through such an experience as a child. And those things have stick with me. I cannot forget them at all. I cannot forget them, the bad things that I have gone through as a child. And it's always in my heart. I always say, don't maltreat any child. Take care of them. If you can't take care of them, give them to somebody who can. There are people here who have the means to be able to take care of a child. But as I'm saying this, living in a different country where there is no such things as help, where a child can get help or a parent can get help if they are going through some kind of maltreatment or maybe abuse or things like that. There's no system like that from where I came from. There was no system. There is still no system like that. But living here in the States, there is so much system available. If you need the help, you go, you will get it. So that is just a part that I want to share in this video podcast today for you to see my humble beginning from where it all started from me. But those were the experiences I have experienced which have left a bad taste in my mouth that I can say and I can share with you. Just for you to see the glimpse of my childhood in just this part one is the beginning, just the basics, just the scratch. I want to share this because this is personal to me. It took me a long time to actually open this so you can see that whatever you have here, whatever you are going through, somebody is going through worse than you. Somebody is going through worse than you. So just be grateful for what you have right now. You think yours is bigger? Wait until you listen to somebody's, or wait until you see somebody going through that. Then you say, oh my goodness, I'm even better. I am better. I thought mine is even bigger. My situation is bigger than me. My situation is bigger than everybody else in the world. Oh my goodness, this person is even worse than me. Yes, whatever it is situation you are going through, take it, be grateful, and enjoy the moment. Whether it's bad, whether it's good, enjoy the moment. Because you just don't know on the other side what that person is actually going through. You just don't know. So that is my childhood. I'm not going to make this too long. I am going to just leave it here for you and leave with you this, that no matter what the situation is, there is a season. There is a season in our lives that we have to experience things. I think that just makes us who we are or who you become, how strong you become, how strong with that experience makes you. So I think it's just preparing us for a bigger things. So then when you get that big thing happening, that overwhelming thing happening in your life, because of the experience you have before, the harshness you have before, you are able to withstand whatever it is that you are experiencing. That is just, for me, I have seen. I think with all the harshness that I've gone through as a child with no idea, a child with nothing, a child with nowhere I'll be, right? A child with no idea, doesn't know much about good and bad. And as a parent or as a guardian, to be able to direct that child, to be able to train that child to be a good thing is very important. Very, very important. Because you just don't know where that child will be one day. And this is my testimonial, being a child and the experience I have experienced as a child. The bad experience and then the good experience. But mostly as a child, the bad one just sticks with you more than the good ones you have experienced. But for me, I remember everything. I always tell my aunt, I said, I don't know what is about me, but I remember almost every little thing from childhood. I sometimes remind them of certain things that I've done, or the good things or the bad things I've done. They'll be chasing me around. I'll be running away. I mention it to them. They say, oh my goodness, how can you remember that? I don't know. It's just me. So that's why I said we all have some type of uniqueness to us. So as you listen to this, my story, I'm sure this can be some type of inspiration to you. So if you have any child that is living with you, take good care of them. And that's what I want to leave with you. And if you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe. And wherever you listen to your podcast, I hope this video podcast has been an inspiration and also give you some perspective of life, that life changes. Our life changes every single day. It's not the same. The child I was when I was born in the 70s to where I am now in 2023, there was so much change, so much change. So I'm leaving that with you. That can be something, give you a perspective of life, that every child have a destiny. We all have a destiny. Every child have a destiny, the path we are on. For me today to be here and talking to you, I don't even thought about it. I didn't even know it's possible for me to be here today and telling you about my childhood, sharing with you the journey I am on right now. I don't know. I don't even think it's possible. But here I am. And I will always say this, that to start this, telling you about my life story, my journey, my blogging journey, my life and my childhood journey to where I am now, I put it off for a very long time. Because this is what I want to talk about. This is the videos I want to do at first when I first started to talk about experience. But I said inferiority complex. Self-doubt, not thinking you are worth it, or not thinking that you have the experience, not believing in yourself, not having the confidence that you can do this. It has been on my heart for a very long time. And I said, it's time, because I'm talking to myself so you can listen. Because these were the things I have experienced, I have gone through. And I hope this can be some type of inspiration. And I know this video is already long, so I'll leave you to it. If you have any questions, please, you can leave it for me. And if this has give you any perspective of life, give you any experience, then subscribe to the channel and also wherever you listen to your podcast. I will see you tomorrow in episode 3, which is part 2 of my childhood. Take care. Bye. I hope your day goes well.